Hi, you guys. Welcome to another episode of Ratchet to Righteous Empowerment. I'm your host, Ashley LaFavor, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking on a topic on becoming self-sufficient. I have an amazing woman. Her name is Miss Shaniqua. She is 42 years old. She is a mother of four. She is from North Philadelphia. She's a healthcare professional. She is in CNA. She is an EMT and she is a registered nurse. She also is a beauty guru. She is established as an entrepreneur as well in cosmetology. She specializes in all hairstyles. She is a permanent makeup artist and she specializes in brows, lips, and eyeliner. So you guys make sure you show some love to Miss Shaniqua as she comes out and she discuss her topic with us today. Hey, Miss Shaniqua.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm fine.
So I was sharing with our audience a little bit of your bio and what you do and our topic that you wanted to talk about today on becoming self-sufficient. I think that's a really great topic. I know a lot of times we think of self-care and self-love and things, but how do we get on the journeys to really becoming who God has called us to be and walking these journeys, girl? So I'll let you share with our audience more of who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Okay. Well, my name is Shaniqua. As she told you, I'm from North Philadelphia. I'm a licensed practical nurse. I'm a permanent makeup artist. And I've been in the healthcare field for maybe 14 years. I want to say no, longer than that. Um, 15 or 16 years, something like that. I've been in cosmetology since I want to say 12. I started doing hair at 12.
Wow.
I was doing finger waves in my neighborhood, in my middle school. I even had the teachers from my middle school, come get their hair waves. I would sit outside I lived on 28th and Girard. I
Uh-huh.
would sit outside and get my chair. My grandmother would always say, we live on an avenue. Put yourself out there. You got to put yourself. This is marketing. Put yourself out there. I didn't even know what marketing was. Like, marketing, what is she talking about? But
Wow.
she said, put yourself out there and you do your finger waves out there, and you're going to get a lot of clientele. So I
Mm.
sat outside with my chair, with my comb and my finger in my gel,
Come
and
on.
I would just wave here, and people would walk down the street. How much you charge? I was charging $5.
Wow.
$5 for finger waves, and I had so many clients from the people in the neighborhood, from my classmates to the teachers in my school.
Wow.
So that's where it started. I was only 12, and then I transitioned from middle school. I went to Dobbins High School in North Philly, where they
Mhm.
taught cosmetology, and I graduated with my cosmetology license, and I've been doing hair ever since.
Wow. That is beautiful. Talk about, I mean, like your word behind you say incredible. That is an
Mm,
incredible story.
Thank you.
Talk about being an entrepreneur, honey, at 12 years old. And
12 years old, and not didn't even know it. I
I
was
was
just
gonna say, not even thinking that that is something further down, in your life that was gonna be a calling for you. And come on, grandma, salute a powerhouse grandma, someone that spoke life into you and
yes.
said, hey, girl, market yourself, get out here.
Get out there. And she,
Yes,
you can do this. You have the skills.
yes.
These are not just regular, waves. This is something nice.
Come on, them
You-
hands is
I
yeah.
was doing her hair, my mom's hair, my aunt's hair, everybody, down to my younger cousins, and then the transition from there. And I was like so determined to be the best at anything I do. I always wanted to be the best.
I love that. So
Mm.
that kind of ties into your topic, because at a young age, you really learn how to become self sufficient just at that, just in doing something you love and
Yes,
able to take that moment and have someone pushing you to, like, hey, no, fearless, honey, because listen, to sit out there, you ain't got no business cards, you ain't passing, you
nothing.
sitting there, you're just like, hey, let it flow. Like it
Yeah.
just overflow just came to you just by you taking that step. So, like, what would you like? Let's tap into that. What would you share with our audience? Because right now we're living in times where everybody do want to use something that they love or passionate about. What would you encourage them as far as taking that step into becoming that self-sufficient person in their business? What would be something you would just say, hey, just do it, and what ways and route they should take?
I would say you always got to map out a plan. You
Yeah.
got to start off with the plan. First, you have to have the passion to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to get your practice in, and keep practicing until you get great at it. And then just run with that. After your plan, you're going to follow your plan, a strategic plan. You follow it, write everything down, follow it until it's complete, and just keep going and just be your best at everything. And also, if you're working in the service field, you got to have the great customer service skills, the great personality. You have
Yeah.
to know how to deal with people who are can be nasty. Always
Yeah.
have a good heart, and keep your mind set straight, not on anything negative. Just block it all out and keep going with the positives, and you always want to make sure your clients are satisfied with everything.
Amen. I
Mm.
love that. So even though we talk about becoming and being self-sufficient, how has bringing in a team also helped with the journey in your process? Do you have a big supportive team? Of course, we know we have family, but a team that just helps you in your day-to-day operations in your business. How do you keep yourself in balance with all of that?
Actually, I have my children and
Good.
my husband as a team. A lot of things I've learned on my own, and I just teach them how to do it. As far as my social medias, the product, keeping up with products and everything else. So I kind of incorporate my kids. I want them to learn. So when I'm not here, they can, take after what I'm doing.
I love
So
it.
my
Teach
daughter has
the kids.
already started. So she's already in it, and she's already on the right path.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And that's really good because you're basically giving her the skill sets and the experiences that you had at a young age and saying, hey, these are also ways you can learn, even if they decide to not do what you're specifically doing, but they can take those skill sets into whatever they're doing
Yes.
in life. So I love that. And I love, you incorporate in family. I'm the same way. Me and my husband do business together or just plan out things in general. And I think when you start with your number one people that's around you every day, a lot of times we try to go out into the world and we leave behind the closest people to us,
Yeah.
but bring them along the journey with you and have that patience, to teach them what you do. Sometimes I don't think we pay that attention that's important in becoming.
Mm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love how you shared that. So my other question is, I know you talked about doing this since 12. What obstacles have you overcame? And I know we always see God is always moving in everything we do. In your journey, what obstacles, especially starting out that young, have you acquired in the process?
Um. Oh, it's been lots of obstacles coming from North Philly, especially with all the violence and everything. I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of trauma. So it's been times where I've stopped like completely and was just, I'm not going to say lost, but like afraid of, certain things,
Mhm.
just how I used to sit outside and do hair. Like I witnessed a shooting,
Wow.
and the body was like actually stretched out on my feet. So after that, I was like, I was afraid to go outside. I was afraid to walk to school. I would be afraid to go to a friend's house or one of the teachers here. I'd be afraid, like for my life, and my walking or traveling to, do the service. So I was canceling appointments and everything. But I guess after a while, it started to happen like over and over. And I was still here. I said, you know what? This is my blessing. This is my calling. I'm still here for a reason. There's
That's
no need for me to hide. There's no need for me to be afraid. All I can do is know that God has my back
that's
and I
right.
have to keep going. I can't give up. So that's how I looked at things and I just kept going.
That's good. I love that. That's a really good way to look at things. I also like how you shared that. Hey, there has been moments where I've had to pause, and a lot of times in the whole self journey of us becoming who, trying to break off generational things or break off habits, we sometimes think we have to stay going on autopilot, but it's okay to pause, for a little bit or take some time back. I like how you said, hey, I wasn't lost, but I did have a moment like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
this has happened, and let me regroup.
Mm,
What are some ways that you regroup, even now, in your journey? What are some ways that you keep yourself balanced just for yourself,
mhm.
and keeping yourself in order?
Now that I'm into a lot of meditation, I read the Bible. Sometimes we think of like me. I want to do so much more than what I'm doing now. I want to teach. I want to give back to my community more. It's just so much I have going on, and I do so much. So I said I have to focus on myself. I got to go within. It's time to meditate. You got to focus on your well being. That's more important than anything. A
Yes,
lot of times you want to do this, you want to do that, but your health is so much more important than anything. So I had to, meditate, eat healthy. A lot of times in our nationality, we're snacking and eating all the wrong things. Next thing you know, here
yep,
comes the high blood pressure, the diabetes, and everything. And we don't pay attention to that. We just look at food like, oh, it's so good. I got to have this. I don't want to eat that because it's not healthy.
yep,
So, I had to incorporate all the healthy foods within my diet and um, just meditate, focus on myself more, give myself time to relax,
yes.
take some days off. It's okay to take a day off or 2 days off and just focus on you and regroup. You have to do that.
Amen. I
Mm,
agree with you. And that's a great tip, you guys. You heard that. So, even in becoming self sufficient doesn't mean that I think sometimes that word can get misinterpreted because they're like, it's all about myself. And it's that, but it's really, it's a process. I feel like self sufficiency for me is allowing yourself to heal. That was one of my biggest breakthroughs,
mm,
is one, allowing myself to heal, being authentic with my own self, because a lot of times you have to be real with yourself. So
mm,
you have to do self accountability. And then, like you say, take them days off,
mm, mm.
take months off if necessary and needed.
Yes.
That when
Yes.
you are, because we all do have, a lot of things outside of work. You have your day to day things with your children. If you're married, you have a spouse, and you cannot give all of you and you are not right or filled. So I love how you shared that. And I think those are good tips. So now, I know you said you started in healthcare, and are you still currently in healthcare, or is
Yes.
it something?
Yes. I'm still a nurse. I'm still working in the field. I actually work 60 plus hours a week and still do what I have to do in the salon, you
Wow,
know. So,
that's
yeah.
that's awesome. I love healthcare. I've been in healthcare since 2008, and I do home healthcare, and so that's my primary business. And I can't say it is a lot of work some days, and
Hmm.
it is sometimes where, like you say, you have to navigate between work life, family, and yourself, and
Hmm.
that's a lot of hours, girls. 60 hours.
Yes.
Woo-woo. That's working,
Yes.
working.
Yes.
So that's incredible. I'm glad that you're still doing that, because it is necessary. People are getting sick and things are transitioning so much, and having those right nurses or caregivers or
Hmm.
doctors there, to pour into and to just help, that's good.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
shows you have a passion for what you do,
Yeah.
love
You
what
gotta have a heart. You gotta be compassionate. You have
Yes.
to really care to get into that field. Any service based, position.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
really do. I always say, you have to think about the people in for me, I always say your team. I have
Mhm.
a team of caregivers and I pour into them, and I feel like
Mhm.
they pour into me as well. And allowing them to understand that they're important and they matter. Um,
Yes.
so important when they're going out to service, someone, and like you say, give that heart that
Yes.
that person may need in a moment that they're not their strongest,
Mhm.
you know. Yeah, that's a good thing. So I'm not going to hold you up too much. I'm always grateful to see people come on and share their stories and share things that is needed. We don't never know who's watching and who needs to just know, you know what, I need to be intentional more on becoming a better me. I think you never stop growing, no matter what age you are. I love how you incorporate again family into your business. A lot of
Yeah.
times we hear in today's world people like separate from your family, forget your family, and go here. But God gives us family for a reason.
Yes. Family is all we got. For real.
That's
For real. Yeah.
right. And you take care of them, and you're not going to always agree with certain family members, but you do have to set certain boundaries and still love them in the way that Jesus would love.
Yeah.
So I love how you shared that. And then the skill sets you're teaching. Are you thinking about doing anything coming up in the community with your cosmetology and the makeup? Um,
Yes, I do hold permanent makeup classes.
okay.
So March 22nd, April 22nd, I'm sorry. I just had one this past March. A permanent makeup class teaching the microblading and the ombre brows. So
That's
I'm giving
good.
back, to the community. Starting the following month, I just thought of, reaching out to mothers, single mothers who
Yeah,
could use some help financially and then offer them a free class, and I want to do that every month, at least two mothers
I
every
love
month, free training.
I love that. Now
Mhm.
that is really dope.
Yeah.
You're also you're basically allowing them to have the opportunity to become, like you say, more self independent when it comes to
Mhm.
creating a business. You just need that support. We have things
Yeah.
fine or we have ideas, but you're just like, I just need that right support, that right person, that right opportunity. And so
Yeah.
I like how you're pouring into other people. That's good. That's
Yeah.
necessary. And giving it away to moms, that
Mhm.
sometimes feel like they're forgotten because they're like, I gotta take care of these kids, you know,
Yes.
work, I gotta make this money, but they put their dreams on the back burner for their family. So I
For
love,
the kids, and it's hard, trying to pay for schooling or
yeah,
a lot of times pay for anything, even down to clothes, because I've been there,
yeah,
So to be able to get a free training that's going to level you up and, place you and you can open your own business. I'm going to teach them everything, how to open a business and how to
love it.
maintain the business and everything. Yeah.
In your business journey, because like you say, you've been there before. We all know, and a lot of times people think financially, how to maintain the operations day to day of your business. What's some things that you ran into through the journey of transitioning? Because as we know, starting off in business ain't always
Um,
what it is. It's the most frustrating thing sometimes.
Yes, it's very frustrating. It's hard. Sometimes, you look for clientele that's, you really don't have, or you think everybody's supposed to support you. That's what I really need to say. When you start a business, like a lot of people think, oh, your family is supposed to support you right away. And then you get upset when no one's supporting you. You can't get upset because God will send strangers your way. And
Amen.
you're going to make it. Always know that you're going to make it.
Amen. That is
Mhm.
so true. And oh, yes, girl, that is so true. Um, and you have to remember it's your vision, it's not theirs.
Yep. Yep.
And I think if we focus that it is your vision, it is not their vision.
Mhm.
People choose what they want. Some people like
Yeah.
McDonald's, some people like Burger King, some people
Yeah.
like, some people like all three. You
Mhm.
press. And so I like that you shared that with our audience. And whoo, yeah, that was good, because it made me have flashbacks for a moment, like, yeah,
Yeah.
You
It
have that.
it can be frustrating if you let it, but you just have to know that God will find your clients, that He
Hey,
will find them.
he will.
And your work speaks for itself. Yeah.
Yes. How can you say environment has played, I know, a major role with from where you are now to maybe when you first started, growing up in certain environments? I know you explained earlier in the interview how you seen someone, right in front of you getting killed.
Yeah.
Have you know, like, did it take you leaving from your environment to start seeing the full manifestation of what you're doing now, or were you just still in those environments? Because some people, they may can't get it from their environments, but it's just a mindset that they have to know, that they're not going to always be there. What would you say with
So
that?
I ended up, once I started having children, I left the environment because I was afraid for my children's life. I wanted better for them. So once they were about 2, 3, and I moved out of Philadelphia into the county. And I can say it was so much more positive. It was so much more opportunities available as far as for the children, for myself. I had a whole different outlook, like on life, and like where I come from. A lot of times we don't like each other. We hate each other. When I moved to the county, it was like I went from, a female look at me up and down with, a nasty attitude. And that was just how we looked. I don't know. That's just how we looked at each other. It was like you giving each other the grizzly all the time, as
Yeah,
opposed to moving to the county and everybody's like, hey, how are you? How was your day? Just strangers. And I'm like, oh, did she say how was my day? Did she? So I got used to it and I loved it from then on. And I said I would never go back. And I don't want my kids to experience that.
yeah.
But I am here, doing business now because I want my people to know that it can happen. Anything is possible for
That's right. And I
you.
love that. And sometimes, those environments that don't really accept fully who you are, embrace it. Sometimes, like you say, it goes to coming out of it and then being the change or giving a different outlook on something to bring people to a place to say, you know what, maybe I need to change the way I perceive people. And I'm so glad you touched on that topic, because that is a terrible, terrible stereotype that I think
Mhm.
it's not just in your city, but even in a lot of cities.
Mhm.
Because even from where I come from, I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida, and I wouldn't say all of the areas, but there are some times where, there will be events or gatherings, and you speak to women or you come in environments with other people, and like you say, you may get this dirty look or this
Mhm.
look of disgust, like who you are.
Mhm.
And what I've came to understand with it, how God has brought it to me, a lot of the times that most people are still carrying wounds that they have not healed from. And so a
Sure.
lot of those mean stares and looks is because, what does God say? You're a light in a room of darkness, and not saying it has to be something evil, but it's something on the inside of another individual that is still needing repair. You know,
Mhm.
still needing to be patched up. And so, like you say, sometimes taking yourself out of that turmoil will help you fully execute where you're supposed to go.
Mhm.
I felt like that when I transitioned to Texas. Everywhere you go, you're gonna have some people that's just gonna be people.
Right.
But I can say I can tell the difference. Like you say, you're walking somewhere and people just, speaking and saying hello, and it's being genuine. Or
Mm.
you're connecting at a networking event and you're walking into a room and everyone's awakening to say, hey, let me try to speak to everyone in the room, and let me, because body language is so
Yes,
powerful.
it does.
Just as much as people think that it's words, body language is everything. And I think we're living in a society where, it's, I think social media has made it to where it's a competition thing, but none of us have to compete with anything. We all are destined for greatness.
Mhm.
God has created us all with something so uniquely that makes, hey, you can be doing cosmetology, someone else can be doing cosmetology, but your handwork is going to be different than the next
Yes.
person's hands work. And so I'm glad that you shared that I didn't want that for my children. Um, and I wanted something different to give them a different perspective. And I think that helps a child when they're growing up, because that
Yes.
allows them to understand that that ain't healthy.
Mhm.
So they will know. So that's good. You're being that change,
Mm.
and may you bring more women behind you to also be that change. Because
Mhm.
healing in that.
Yes.
It's real healing. So I'm just grateful again that you came on the show to bless us with this topic. How can our audience connect with you if they're wanting to do a class with you, if they're wanting to just stay in touch, maybe book you for anything? I do have your information at the bottom of the screen. So if you just
Okay.
want to share with our audience the ways they can reach out and follow you.
Okay. You can follow me on Instagram at incrediblehair_215. You can also reach me at my email at brhodesincrediblehairllc .com, and on Facebook at Incredible Hair LLC.
Awesome. And you say you have a class coming up for, is it permanent
April,
makeup?
yes, April
Okay.
the 22nd.
All right, you guys. So if you are in the Philadelphia area and you are wanting to expand and always had a passion in makeup, she's giving you the opportunity to come out.
Right here.
It's a one-on-one class, or is it a group class?
It's a group class. It's a group of 10.
So there you go. So now you can get an environment of other amazing women. You can learn, you can have fun,
Yes.
business. So yeah, or go work somewhere and get your skill sets up. So make sure you reach out to her, connect with her. Again, her information is strolling at the bottom. Make sure you guys follow her, stay up to date with her. I follow her on Instagram, so she also shares some very encouraging messages in a fun way, in a loving way. So hey, it's time for you guys to become more self
So,
aware, self sufficient, and just embrace all who you are. I love it. All right, girly. So I thank you again for coming, and
you're
until
welcome.
next time, you guys, again, make sure you get her information at the bottom. Bye now.
All right. See you.